What's mentoring? And I would say it's a sought-after relationship where there's mutual trust. This allows the mentee to confide and maybe take chances in exploring topics and issues. And it means then the relationship is safe and comfortable and devoid of judgment. It allows the mentor to be human as well. And by this I mean that there is no expectation that the mentor will always have a right answer or give guru guidance. The process, though, will always be dependably reflective and sincere.
In terms of effective mentoring, I think that the mentor-mentee relationship has to be a fairly natural one. It has to have developed in a bit of a natural way. I'm not a particularly strong fan of deliberate attempts to bring together mentor and mentee. In my experience, it's worked out well when a potential mentee has identified something that they feel offers either experiences, guidance, potentially advice that they feel they need at a particular time. I think the relationship works best when the mentor is prepared to just listen. Mentees often want to talk about things with an objective listener that they haven't had opportunities to talk about before.
So I think that the most important factor for me has been taking the time to get to know the person that I've agreed to mentor. Getting to know where they're coming from, where they're at now, and where they want to go in their career and in their lives. And that takes some time in getting to know the person. And I've applied that in two ways. One is when mentoring individuals, but also I've been involved in a group mentoring activity where, again, the same principles have really applied.
I think we very much had, and to this day have, shared values, but I think you wouldn't want to be mentored by somebody who's just like you, because then you're not going to experience those other views of the world and other possibilities. Now, to some degree, if a mentor is significantly older, just based on life experience, no doubt you'll see those differences. But so some common ground, but some differences I think are helpful. I think there has to be trust, and so to truly be able to be a mentor or somebody who's being mentored, you know, there really has to be a lot of trust both ways. And I think that's one of those things that builds over time. And you'd have to be very careful about not ever violating that trust. And that could mean around issues like confidentiality, not following through on items that you've committed to, again, either as the mentor or as the mentee. And finally, it really has to be about the mentee. You cannot have your own agenda as a mentor.
I think it's important to make fun of oneself, which I tried to do in that situation. Give a bit of humor into it, but communicate that I was wrong, I shouldn't have been bothering people, I never really thought about it. I'm only going to be discussing this issue with people who are really outliers and not reviewing their notes. But I think one has to make pretty disciplined decisions, particularly if people have young kids. You never get the time back with your kids again. You can always go to an evening meeting or an early morning meeting.
I think there's a couple things that are really important in an effective mentorship relationship. The key one to make it successful is to establish goals early for the mentee and the mentor. It should be a shared conversation to explore ideas, and it's important to actually challenge your mentee to support them when they are uncertain regarding the goals, regarding their dreams and aspirations. Most important too, as a mentor, and I've been on both sides as a mentee as well as a mentor, is you really want to have this chance to share your experiences and perspectives. The knowledge and insights you have are invaluable because that's not anything a mentee can get from a book, and they're really looking for that experience from their mentors. The last part is probably connectivity. There needs to be an environment of mutual trust, really for mentorship to work effectively, and caring that you are actually there with the best interest of your mentee at heart. You've got to go in 100%. You can't be half committed. And the last aspect for me really that's important, because we're all really busy clinicians, is setting up regular meetings. Do them ahead of time. Agree with regards to the amount of time you want to spend on this, whether it's face-to-face or telephone or email. Set up those sorts of conversations because that way you're most effective.
This may sound really obvious. The people involved need to like each other. And I don't know that there's actually a better way of putting it. They have to care about each other, they have to matter to each other, but there has to be something that, for lack of a better word, is liking, and you could describe it as affection, but they have to care about and for each other. Related to that is access. Again, that may be me personally, the ones that seem to work the best is where there's some proximity and where the informal as well as the call somebody up, or if you are calling somebody up, that you can go downstairs and talk to them, or arrange to meet at the end of the day or something like that. So I think that's important as well. Others may be capable of sustaining, if you will, long-distance mentorship relationships, or do so by email. And I think there are a lot more tools that we can use nowadays, but the ones that work in my life have been person to person and are intimate in that regard.